FRMMA Radio.
Welcome, everyone. This is 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez. Alongside is my co-host, Albert Machida. And on the phone, we have from Orlando, Florida, Guillermo Machida. Gentlemen, how's it going?
It's going well, man. It's going.
We're here in, Albert and I are in the greater Los Angeles area. Albert's rocking his Lakers shirt.
Yeah.
Dodgers are now tied, as of this recording, 2-2 in the World Series.
What a game.
What a game.
I think last night's game was for the actual baseball fans. Because even though that second game was kind of epic with the whole high scoring and going into the 10th inning, I think that's natural excitement. But for a baseball fan, yesterday's game was actually more exciting because those 0-0 pitcher matchups. I mean, I think those are the best ones.
Yeah.
So I was in pins and needles.
Pitching duel, right, Guillermo?
Yeah, it was a great pitching duel. I only watched it till like the 6th inning because I'm in the East Coast, man. You gotta stay up late to finish everything up. But I mean, Morton was doing great. I thought, man, I was like, I'm impressed by all the strikeouts. But then, Alex Wood was keeping up with them because I thought, man, one of these, I don't know. I just felt like the offense was itching to get the party started, but nobody could. And
then it would be Alex Wood who they would hit off of. But we'll see. Clayton Kershaw's going in the next game.
You see how when the game ended, Kershaw went to the mount?
That's the championship chance. The guy's a Hall of Famer. That's why. Speaking of Hall of Famers, we got a UFC fight night in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We got not too much to talk about today. We got the return of Little Machida, cutting heel promos in the UFC. Khabib finally has a fight announcement, and we're going to preview UFC 217. So, Albert, do me a favor, get the timer started from round number 1, please. So, last night, or on Saturday night, UFC Sao Paulo fight night in Brazil, the return of the Dragon, Lyoto Machida, after 2 years suspension. Main event against Derek Brunson. The return did not go as planned as he got knocked out in the first round, 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Brutal.
We got to say it like that.
Glass chin.
Lyoto Machida. So I asked you, Guillermo, at 39 years old, knockout loss. Is this the end of Machida as a legit anything?
Hey, I'm scared for his health. I mean, given he was in light heavyweight, he took on some very, very powerful guys in light heavyweight. In the middleweight division, these guys aren't known as much for their power, and they're still knocking out Lyoto Machida with ease. It's the whole Chuck Liddell syndrome. I hate, and Albert hates that I brought Chuck Liddell in the same sentence as Machida. I bet you anything. But if we're looking out for the health of Machida, I think it's time for him to call it quits, or think about doing something else. Because yesterday it was a great example of how a small, because I don't think it was full power that would touch Machida's chin that rocked him to begin with, but then the shots after, I mean, like those were brutal. You can only take so much, and I think if just a punch like that without full power is rocking him, it just shows you that he's lost everything to keep him from getting rocked. The whole glass chin syndrome.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking at his record now. This is his 3rd KO loss, but every time he's been knocked out, it's been knocked out pretty vicious. Remember that first one with Shogun, and then he got those vicious elbows from Yoel Romero in his last fight, and then last night the shot that rocked him didn't a little hard, but he had some pretty hard punches. Derek Brunson delivered on the ground. So, I mean, he's now 0-3 his last 3 fights, just coming off a 2-year suspension. He lost to Luke Rockhold to submission, Yoel Romero knockout, and then Derek Brunson a knockout. Now, so I mean, Albert, you've studied Machida his whole career practically. What's next for this guy? Well, I mean, in your opinion, what should be done for Machida? Does he kind of stay the course? Does he go up to light heavyweight?
I don't know his UFC contract, but if he does get released, I really would love to see him in the light heavyweight division in Bellator. Ooh. And I think he's 2 fights and done, regardless of UFC or Bellator. But I do want to still see him in the light heavyweight division. I think that's still where he had the most success. And the argument can be made that there's bigger punchers in light heavyweight, but you also have slower punchers in the light heavyweight. And to tell you the truth, even though MMA is a weird sport where like you have to constantly evolve yourself, or else you're going to get left behind. And I think Machida should have done the opposite. I think he tried to evolve his game so much that he went back from what made him or got him to that point. And I think
I totally disagree with that.
If he does 2 more fights, But doing Machida style, I see success. I think he can possibly get some good highlight reels there. I really do think he has been training nonstop his jiu-jitsu because obviously everyone knew his ground game was a suspect. But he's been training a lot of jiu-jitsu. He mixes up a lot of his stuff now, and I think if he would have stayed more karate-based, he would have won that fight.
Karate-based.
I totally disagree because you saw the skill set still there, Albert. The thing is, as you get older, your speed decreases, your power decreases. It's inevitable. And the thing is, Derek Brunson welcomed it.
Yeah.
Where usually everybody is very tactical. Like, it's difficult to defeat this skill set, but if you bring it, which Derek Brunson did, all he did was duck under and do an overhand left.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
Well,
When he welcomed the karate style, I think the skills are still there, Albert. The skills are like probably the last thing you ever lose. It's everything else, your physical attributes, your strength, your speed. That's what you lose first.
Time is a bitch.
Yeah, that's exactly what Derek Brunson said. He's like, Machida's always gonna have the skill over there, the mental understanding of the clarity of mixed martial arts fighting. But he's gonna get slower. His reflexes are gonna get slower. So you're telling me, Guillermo, he needs to go to Bellator and fight Chael Sonnen? Is that what you're telling me? For Machida?
What I'm telling you is
I'll pay.
both Chael Sonnen and Machida need to retire.
If Bellator's listening to this, I will pay $50 to see that fight.
So let's switch over to the winner of the fight, Derek Brunson here. He called out Luke Rockhold after the fight. He was kind of a little timid because Derek Cormier's like, hey,
your boy.
DC's like, well, give me a name, man. He's like, well, your teammate's looking pretty good over there. Luke Rockhold. A lot of the analysts post fight said they actually love that fight. Do you love that fight, Brunson versus Rockhold, Guillermo?
I don't, just for the fact that, remember, Luke Rockhold lost the belt to Michael Bisping due to that knockout, and it came, and we can make all the excuses in the world for Luke Rockhold, but he did have a bad knee going into that fight. But he really, it's been instead of like, hey, you're a title contender, it seems like we keep pushing him more and more down. It's like, what did this guy do to deserve to get buried down?
Dang, so are you burying Derek Brunson now? So you don't like the fight for Luke Rockhold?
Wow.
No, I don't like the fight for Luke Rockhold just for the fact that he should get the winner out of GSP versus Michael Bisping,
like a 1,
regardless.
2, 3 guy, not Brunson right now. I think was number 7, I think, ranked. So,
and it's really it all really comes down to Robert Whittaker, his health.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, Luke Rockhold's the odd man out right there. But why are you sending them more and more down instead of a legit? Let's do a Yoel Romero.
Albert shaking his head.
All right, we're out of time, Guillermo. So I'll try and make my point real quickly, and it's going to be pretty easy to make sure that you're wrong here. One, I love the matchup because guess what? People's mind hasn't been cleared of that Luke Rockhold knockout that he lost to Michael Bisping. And Derek Brunson is a huge hitter. I think if he can beat Derek Brunson, he races that in everyone's mind. Like, he does have a chin. He can take a hit. And so I think it works out perfectly. And you kind of scratch on it, but it doesn't matter. Everyone keeps talking about Luke Rockhold should get next, no matter who wins GSP or Michael Bisping. Robert Whittaker is the interim champion, people. The interim champion. If anyone deserves
Didn't you just hear
it's
me?
him, regardless
Didn't you
of
just
health,
hear me that
they
he's
wait,
injured?
they wait a whole, I don't care if they wait a year. Robert Whittaker deserves it. He's the young gun. He's the future of this division. I think
so. You hold up the division because of an injury? You're crazy. You are crazy there, sir.
Come on,
you have two titles in the same weight
gonna
class.
win. He's gonna relinquish the belt anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
You have two belts in the same weight class, and you're gonna wait for Robert Whittaker, who has the interim belt, instead of the guy that actually has the real legitimate.
Robert Whittaker is so hot right now.
New Zealand hot, actually.
Oh God.
That's it for round number 1. We're gonna come back and continue our conversation in UFC Sao Paulo. Talk about the promo that Colby Covington, probably the harshest words I ever heard somebody named Colby say ever, right? That's it for round number 1. We'll come back and talk about that. Before that, talk about 5 Rounds Clothing, our great friends, partners, and sponsors at 5 Rounds Clothing. 5 Rounds offers unique collection of apparel and accessories by incorporating the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts. They are constantly evolving and improving to become the best fight-wear company in the MMA world. Check out the lines of t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and other great accessories at 5rounds.net. That's the number 5rounds.net. Follow them on Twitter at 5roundswear and on Instagram at 5rounds_. Get it on. Round 2 coming up next. Welcome back. Time for round number 2. So let's continue this conversation from UFC Sao Paulo or hashtag UFC SP. Whoever was the social media manager was just lazy yesterday.
Super lazy.
Hashtag UFC SP. Co-main event, Demian Maia versus Colby Covington. Demian Maia looked really bad in this fight. So I'm going to ask the same question I asked you guys with Machida. Is this the end of Demian Maia? Is this the end of Demian Maia, Guillermo?
You know what? I think last night was a great win for Dana White, because two guys he probably really, really hates, he can finally have a real legitimate reason to cut them. So he hated Machida with the passion because he didn't draw money. He hates Demian Maia because he doesn't bring it in championship fights, and he lost as well too. I think this is the end of Demian Maia. I mean, where do you go from here? Yeah. You fought for the belt, you lost, and then you have an opportunity to rebound to say, hey, you know what? I'm still in title contention, but he delivers an egg, and so he already tried different weight classes before. So where do you go? I mean, he's a specialist, and people aren't willing to watch him just do jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So where does he go from here besides Bellator? I mean, that if you.
Whenever. Well, I think people will pay that those little Eddie Bravo invitationals, but I mean, do you want him just to do jiu-jitsu in the octagon? Probably not. I think he kind of has that Michael Bisping syndrome where he lost to Tyron Woodley.
That's horrible.
Lost to Roy McDonald, lost to Jake Shields, lost to Chris Weidman. So he lost to Anderson Silva. So he loses those big time marquee matchups.
Michael Bisping has the belt by. Just so you know.
Again, asterisk, bro. Asterisk. At 39 years old, like the window of opportunity is probably closed and probably has closed for Demian Maia. I mean, Albert, do you think just keep the course, finish out UFC contract and go from there, or what? I mean,
I think logically he does have one more matchup in him. Just because
top contender or just
for what?
No, I think it's gonna be for like
a gatekeeper.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be one of those premium matches, but. To tell the truth, if not that many people know, but Demian Maia has done really good for himself. And if you ever see the Embedded or the whatever, he has a beautiful house, awesome academy. Yeah. The guy has everything for him outside of MMA.
So more reason for him to retire.
I don't think that's what I'm starting to say. I don't think he needs another fight.
He just wants to be a champion.
I think he just wants to be a champion. I think we've seen the best Demian Maia already, and I don't think he's going to get any better at 39 years old. I would like to see him retire. He's actually one of my favorite fighters, and I would like to see him just go. But I do see him maybe fighting one more fight. But like you said,
I hate how you tiptoe around, Albert. We don't want to see Demian Maia in the ring again. I mean, I don't even want to stay up at night to watch Demian Maia in a co-main event.
One of my favorites.
He's a specialist. He's amazing to watch.
Like I told you, if he would do straight up jiu-jitsu tournaments, I'll watch those all day.
He could probably do that now. He could probably have his own. The Demian Maia, Eddie Bravo, stuff. Might not have the Demian Maia tournaments. So let's switch to Colby Covington, who cut probably the harshest heel promo I think in UFC. Oh, I mean, other than Brock Lesnar's, I don't drink Bud Light, Coors Light. This is right up there. He called the people of Brazil pieces of crap. Or trash, one of the two. He continued to play the bad guy even after he won. Wasn't very gracious in victory. At 13-3, other than Demian Maia, his biggest win was Dong Kim, and he's already calling for a title shot with Tyron Woodley. I don't know if he's there yet, but he certainly didn't make a name for himself, right? Gamron, do you think as Colby Covington, maybe you got your boy Mike Perry you can maybe match up with, or who else in the welterweight division?
It seems like Mike Perry's gonna fight that guy from England. What's his name?
Oh yeah, he's matched up.
I forgot his name already.
So in his match first.
Yeah. So obviously Colby, he's calling for a title shot. I mean, Dong Kim and Demian Maia, I don't think are going to get in there. What fighter will get Colby Covington to the top of the division for a title shot?
So first of all, I'm going to be blunt. I think today's show, the whole theme of me is to be blunt. I don't know who Colby Covington was before this fight.
Wow.
Let's be honest. Second is. The promo got him on my radar. Yeah. I'm being honest with you guys. He's on my radar. I watched I actually woke up. I set my alarm just to watch the co-main event and the main event last night. I woke up. I was like, who the hell is Colby Covington? Even though I chose him because I thought it was the end of Demian Maia, now I'm paying attention. Colby Covington needs a legitimate and I know Demian Maia was there, but to me, Demian Maia was more of like on the decline, especially after his showing against Tyron Woodley. But I would love to see Colby Covington against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson or something like that, and then I'd be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's do this Tyron Woodley fight. But to me, the name that stands out is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Albert, I got one for you too. Another guy who made a name for himself last week, Darren Taylor versus Colby Covington. Are you UFC's going to burn those two guys right away, or no?
I like that matchup, to tell the truth, but the thing about
you're
Cody,
a joke.
The reason he had a good smack talk, but his last matches were all decisions, and I think that's why you don't know him, Guillermo. But yeah, I think that's actually a good matchup.
Real quick, Guillermo,
that's a horrible matchup.
Beast of a welterweight division.
Real quick, was Colby's promo cross the line or all unfair? If you're going to play the bad guy, do it the way.
It's all fair game. I mean, he must have had a bad experience with being down in Brazil, and I don't blame the guy. I mean, like, if you don't like a certain piece of a country,
geographical area.
Yeah, and he had to go down all the way to Brazil because I bet he wouldn't been able to get Demian Maia in the United States. Why, I'll go down there, but it just shows you, it's an inconvenience for me, and it shows that all you guys had to go through to bury me, I guess, in a way. So I'm all for it. But the reason I don't like Covington versus Till, if I told you last night I didn't even know who Covington was, now you want to give me a guy that no one even knew against Donald Cerrone, guys, it's not going to sell.
You know them
it's
both
not gonna
now.
sell.
You know them both
Nobody
now.
wants to fight Carmen Usman, so might as well. Albert, that promo cross the line, yes or no? Or
nah, man. That's how you properly smack talk.
That's
That's heel 101, and you know it. You go to Cleveland, you start talking trash about the Browns
and LeBron James.
You know it.
You got to get him where it hurts. That's it for round number 2. We're going to come back and talk about the Khabib Nurmagomedov has a fight announced and the chances of him actually making that fight. Before this, talk about Mobilitas. Mobility Tools, one of our new sponsors. The best mobility tools on the planet. Durable, portable, manufacturer release products designed with more grip to help you improve performance and recover faster. Visit yourjointshouldn'thurt.com for more information and see that all the great lines of products. They're also on Instagram at Mobilitas. Like them on Facebook and visit youtube.com/yourjointshouldn'thurt for great tutorials on how to stay healthy and get the best workout possible. Round 3 coming up next.
Colby Covington, who?
Got right. Welcome, everyone. Time for round number 3. So this is kind of big news for fight fans everywhere. Khabib Nurmagomedov has a fight announcement made for December 30th, UFC 219 versus Edson Barboza. Guillermo, I asked you, what's the percentage chances of Khabib actually makes this fight?
100%.
100% makes this fight? Why? Because it's not for a title?
He makes it
because it's not against Tony Ferguson? Is that why?
Well, a couple things I think he learned from his first mistake about not making weight, or the dangers of making weight. I mean, he's around a lot of people that are wrestlers that cut weight for a living. Huh?
I like how Guillermo's talking about making weight and just.
It's not even lunchtime, bro. What are you eating so early?
What's it is for him? He's 3 hours ahead.
1 o'clock.
It's like 3 o'clock. It's lunch at 3.
Guillermo's all, this guy can't make weight at all.
It's 1 p.m. But he'll make weight.
Not and I think with you.
And the thing, I don't think the stress is there because it's not Tony Ferguson. It's Edson Barboza. No disrespect or anything. Wow. But right now, Tony Ferguson's the cream of the crop. You got to come to the fight. So I think the pressure is there. I mean, we even saw it with Kevin Lee. I mean, the pressure was there to perform at the elite level because that's what you got to do to beat a Tony Ferguson.
Yeah. So Albert, Edson Barboza is on a 3-win streak. His last loss was to Tony Ferguson. He just defeated Anthony Pettis, Gilbert Melendez, and kind of a step down in competition with the Barnell Darlush.
That came out of nowhere.
Is it kind of a bigger fight for Barboza than for Khabib, right? Well, Khabib, it seems like to me, Khabib, this is again, he has to prove himself that I can stay healthy, I can make it, I can make a fight, I can win this fight, and then to prove I haven't lost anything, I'm still Khabib. With Barboza, I mean, to be the first guy to defeat Khabib, he's right in top contention, isn't he?
Well, you know who's not hot right now?
Who?
Khabib.
Okay.
I am so off that bandwagon. It's not even funny. I can care less that Khabib is might fight, will fight, or whatever. But I think it's a step up for Barboza, of course. I tell you the truth, I really don't care.
Yeah.
I'm off that Khabib train. I'll go back on it once he wins. Yeah. And makes weight.
So real quick for both of you, I'm on the official UFC rankings. What number is Edson Barboza ranked?
I'm gonna say 7.
3.
Yeah, 3.
He's
ranked number 3.
3.
I didn't know that either. He's number 3, so I guess this is a big fight. I guess this is a title implication. So this is probably a title eliminator. Khabib is number 2. 2. So this is on paper. This is a pretty big matchup on paper.
I don't even have Wikipedia in front of me, but I know this guy.
Kevin Lee is number 7.
Know like the back of your hand.
Yeah, Kevin Lee's number 7. So this is I guess on paper a big time matchup. Like I said, if it will happen or not, I mean, just Khabib has done so much to hurt his progression of and not only inside the octagon but also in the popularity of fans, because this is a guy who, remember, he was talking smack on Twitter. Remember, he got in the fight with the Diaz brothers at the, was it Strikeforce event or was it a Bellator event?
It was like a lesser event. It was like,
remember that? So that was kind of cool. Like, he was like hyped up, and all of a sudden he can't stay healthy. He can't, make weight. He has issues here.
Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna be blunt again. So
please do.
This time I'm being blunt to you guys. You guys are a joke. Obviously, stop bashing Khabib. This guy's undefeated. He has never lost a fight.
Well,
so the fact that you guys are off the bandwagon, that just shows you guys that you guys are bandwagoners, like the Lakers and Dodgers. But
Lakers bandwagon right now. Come on.
Check my email, Guillermo. Check when I registered K Bryant 278 at MSN.com. Please don't send me emails because I'm not going to check that. I don't check that.
But my point is that there's a bigger picture. The bigger picture is Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor. That is the only reason why Khabib has to take another fight. Because if this fight, Khabib versus Edson Barboza, is not taking place, you're going to have Khabib waiting over a year just to get a shot at Tony Ferguson or Conor McGregor. It just shows you that there is talk behind scenes that a Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor is in the works. So, boom!
Hey, do you think they'll try and schedule Ferguson versus McGregor for this bout? Because right now the main event is Dominic Cruz versus Jimmy Rivera.
Didn't they announce what date or rumored what event they're in?
I don't know, because
they released a poster. Remember,
they did.
It had Conor McGregor.
I don't remember.
And then it had like the boogeyman behind him.
Oh,
and it said UFC something.
I'm pretty sure it's fan art, bro.
No, it was the actual legit artist. He just said, "Oh, I've just been messing around."
Oh, really?
Whatever. Yeah, it wasn't an official poster.
Because it would make kind of sense because you have Barboza and Khabib on the same card as Ferguson versus. But it might be too soon for McGregor. This is December 30th. Because as of right now, it's a pretty good card, but you need that sexy main event.
I don't know. I was watching a couple of Instagram videos. Conor McGregor's already eating healthy. He was at a supermarket buying bananas and a lot of fruit and vegetables. So I think it's. I wouldn't be surprised if it's December 30th.
Insider tip right there: Conor McGregor eating vegetables, everybody. So that's right there for that.
That makes news.
That makes news. Apart from McGregor, yeah. That's it for round number 3. We're gonna come back. We're gonna take a small break and come back into the championship rounds. We're gonna preview UFC 217 for the next 2 rounds because it's such a big card. We need to take 2 rounds to fill it. Before we do that, let's talk about our shout out to our great friends, partners, the Dos Leprechauns podcast. If you're a fan of Notre Dame football,
or if you're a fan of USC, please call in.
Yeah, or if you're a USC fan and want to talk smack with the guys, do that. It's our friend Jason, his son Nate. Notre Dame, college football, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, pop culture, sports in general. It's all there. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Dos Leprechauns, YouTube. Do all that great stuff. And be sure you tell them 5RoundMMA sent you. So we're going to come back and enter the championship rounds next. Welcome, everyone. Time to enter the championship rounds. UFC 217 takes place Saturday, November 4th from the famed hallowed grounds of Madison Square Garden in New York, live on pay-per-view, main evented by a middleweight championship bout between Michael Bisping and then returning George St. Pierre. This is a card so big. 3 title fights. We're going to take the next 2 rounds to talk about it.
I know it's a big card, but I just want to get something out of the way. Is it George's? Or is it George? George
St. Pierre. Okay. Guillermo, hype level for this card. 1 to 10. What's your hype level for this card?
5.
Fuck, come on.
I thought we're keeping it real.
Keep it 100. Hype level.
You want me to keep it real?
Yeah.
You want me to keep it real?
It's a 1.
George St. Pierre stands no chance against Michael Bisping. Joanna Jędrzejczyk has pissed off the last girl in that weight class, and Rose Namajunas is gonna whoop her butt. And I'm tired of Cody No Heart. He has no heart. So TJ Dillashaw's gonna tap that.
Hype level.
The hype level's like 100. I can't remember the last time I ordered a UFC bout. I'm actually gonna listen to. I'm gonna pay for this one and watch. I'm not gonna go to some local.
So are you saying right now viewing part of your house?
Yeah, viewing part of my house.
I'm there.
I'm paying for it.
I'm there
because George St. Pierre is gonna win the belt.
I'm there.
Cody.
No love. Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt
is gonna win, and Rose the Thug is gonna calm down.
So let's go. My hype level is like I said 1 to 10. So mine on the 10 for this card. So let's kind of start from just looking from the bottom. It's a pretty solid undercard.
Guys.
Don't look. I mean,
come on.
Don't look at the prelims.
You got
the main card.
CM Punk killer Mickey Gall is on there against Randy Brown. You got James Vick against Joseph Duffy. Joseph Duffy was kind of like on a verge, right?
Yeah. The last man to defeat Conor McGregor before Nate Diaz.
Yeah. So you guys all have Johnny Hendricks versus Paulo Costa, but also Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Jorge Masvidal, where
Guillermo's pumped for that bout.
Yeah, this is kind of more of a proving ground for Thompson, right? Say, hey, I'm still legit. I can still fight somebody if I have to.
I think it's 100% for Masvidal.
You think so?
He's talking all that good smack. Let's see if he can back it up.
I mean, what do you think here, Guillermo? Is this more of a fight for Wonderboy or more of a fight for Masvidal? Like the winner, I think Stephen.
It's 100%.
I think Stephen Moore. Okay, who's closer to the title shot with the win after this fight? Masvidal or Thompson?
Masvidal. Even if Thompson wins, they're not going to give him another title shot.
If Willie's still, champion, probably, yeah. Damn.
So Masvidal has a better opportunity because Stephen Wonderboy is not going to get a title shot as long as Tyron Willie's champ.
Yeah.
Man, you know what I like though? How UFC is taking the WWE approach.
How?
Because Johnny Hendricks is only in there to put over Paulo Barboza. And the only reason.
Paulo Costa is 10-0, and he's 9 knockouts. If you guys don't know, he's from Brazil.
Yeah. Trust me. If this is straight up Ric Flair out the door,
we're gonna get Johnny Hendricks out of here.
Yeah,
who still can't make weight at 185. Maybe he should go to 205, but at 5'9", I don't think he has nowhere else to go. He just got knocked out by Tim Boach. Before that, he defeated Hector Lombard via decision, and then so the Kevin. I mean, is it a coincidence that once USADA came in, Johnny Hendricks kind of? I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something about it. But
let's keep it real, Guillermo. USADA ruined half the careers of UFC fighters.
A lot of guys.
No.
How much time we got left?
We got a minute and 20.
Half the fighters.
Let's save the title fights for the next round. Well, I mean, we got Joanna Jacek and Rose Namajunas. Like, Guillermo made a good point. Like, she kind of pissed off maybe the wrong girl here. I still think Rose is still kind of too young for this fight, but she's been a fighter who, once you counter out, that's when she tends to rise to the occasion.
I think she's a situational
the
fighter.
Thing is, Joanna is giving motivation. The thing is, when you talk about who's the better fighter, of course, Joanna has the skill set that is like above everybody else. Mm-hmm. But when you motivate somebody, they're gonna go especially with the inspiration and sometimes with the adrenaline from that fight, it's gonna push you over. Yeah. And I think it's finally gonna catch up to her.
Nah, Rose is gonna do the same mistake I think a lot of other fighters have done and try to take this to the ground, and she's gonna pay for it. I really do think she's gonna try to make this a ground game, and that's gonna be her huge error.
But here's the thing: is when Ronda Rousey was doing it, the girls inside the octagon were scared of Ronda Rousey. I don't think people are. It's more legitimate hate for Joanna Jędrzejczyk because you should see Joanna at the end of the fights. I mean, they bring it to her. So I think it's only a matter of time. You motivate someone or you take that risk every single time. Eventually, it's gonna catch up to you.
Yeah, I think Joanna's trash talk is super underrated. She seems like to low key get under the skin of all of her opponents, and I think that could backfire from Rose, could not, but we'll see. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna finish out with some snake talk with Cody, with the TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garba, and of course talk about the main event, George St. Pierre versus Michael Bisping. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our great friends, partners over at FightBookMMA.com, the only place you'll find real combat sports news from all over the world. A website you can trust with accurate news from MMA, kickboxing, boxing, all types of combat sports. They cover everything from local promotions to the major ones like UFC, Bellator, LFA, King of the Cage. It's all there under one roof. That's a great podcast section with a great collection of combat sports themes. Podcast under one roof. Just bookmark it, do yourself a favor. FightBookMMA.com. They're also on all forms of social media. 5th and final round coming up next. Don't go anywhere.